type of companion you need, I can provide.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Now, onward!
Ah, suits you, murdering scum. Magister Randy, Corpus made for the divine eminence specimen, Lady Vengeance. Can't you say anything else? Magister Randy, Corpus made for the divine eminence specimen, Lady Vengeance. You keep saying that, it won't save you. Expert warrant for hire. Won't let you down.
Fasten tight.
The Seeker flexes up.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. Hope you find something useful.
Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. His face contorts with agony and his eyes flutter, yet he doesn't return to consciousness. No matter how loud you shout your questions, you get no response from the unconscious Alexander. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch. The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then the wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear a face appears in the wood. A face tortured and tormented, a six-sided shape carved upon its forehead. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
No entry allowed. Please use the port side door. Listen up so I don't have to repeat myself again. I am not an entry door. Fine. Answer the security question. The password is fortitude. Now, answer the security question.
The face in the door is confused for a moment.
Drat.
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
Just one more moment, please.
A pyramid? What on Rivellon is this for?
A teleporter pyramid. Only one way to find out if it works. Try using it.
What script is this? Whatever it is, it appears to be written in verse. What's this? I found something.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? Armor? Such a limiting word, but yes. It serves that purpose, amongst others. Dallas has been keeping me prisoner here, but I try to keep working on my own projects when I can.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Glory is mine. I'll yield to none.
those guards? Or victims?
Both, I fear.
Another pyramid.
Deliver us from peril. Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. From peril.
There's an odd mark on the side of the figurehead. Battle damage? Weather staining. It almost looks like a pattern, however. The deck beneath you groans and trembles, like the ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
You are not the witch. You are not Dallas. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new mistress? You are kind, but I can never be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel and must be guided. Let me take you wherever you wish. We can depart as soon as you are ready. Ask. I am here to serve in all ways.
The bow of the ship creaks downwards on the swell of the ocean. In the breeze above you, the faintest hint of what might have been a melancholy sigh.
Once, I was an elf. I passed away and was reborn as an ancestor tree. In a beautiful forest surrounded by kin of both flesh and root. That time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to a dead place. Then I was taken away. My memories were lost, like the leaves from my branches.
The sails overhead billow outwards suddenly. The sun is blocked, momentarily casting the dragon figurehead into shadow.
Magisters, they razed sacred elven lands and uprooted ancestor trees from the earth. I was one of them. They tore me apart and turned me into this monstrosity. Of course, wherever there is sea, I will endeavor to bring you. Consult with your companions and set a course.
There is no time to spare. We have to put this island behind us.
A place called Driftwood, host to putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself.
Our sacred ancestor trees. Tended to
You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the God-Woken watched Fort Joy shrink behind them. But their capture of the Lady Vengeance had not gone unnoticed.
I respect your mettle, sorcerers. You steal my ship, kill my bishop, and ally with demons, but you have no idea what you're really dealing with.
We are ready, mistress.
Yes, but are they?
I swear, mistress. I swear they'll perform admirably.
Very well. Show me. Goodbye, sorcerers. This is my ship. I won't sit drinking under my feet. You act!
For the love of the void. Listen up. We can't win this one, but I can get us to safety. You'll need to buy me time. Show us what you can do, God-Woken.
God-Woken? Parasites, rather.
I'll take care of it, mistress.
Just a metaphor, shall we? Stop that elf! Her sorcery must be silenced!
That burning. It's like a bomb in my belly, ready to burst.
with the help of the half-demon Malady. The Godwoken escaped through the veil that separates life from death.
The air here has a familiar smell, like the place you grew up. Old memories begin to well within you, but the sweet sour smell of decay, the smell grows strong, then suddenly vanishes. Now you smell only the faint scent of wood and a cold metallic tang, as yet unfamiliar. As the cursed bride...
Are we the first? The others, do they hang still upon the tree?
He strains at the ethereal ropes that bind him, resisting their grip.
You must make haste. I am bound, but not defeated. Not yet. This is not the work of fate. It is the work of the void. It will come for our people. It will destroy us all. You are my chosen. Now you must become the champion of our kind. The champion of humanity. I have survived our enemies. You must do more than that. You are like me, proud, headstrong. But believe me, there is a great deal more you must learn yet. You have already unleashed some of the powers locked within you. But there is a great well of possibilities still untapped. You cannot stop until you ascend to the highest heights of your power. You cannot stop until you become divine.
He opens his mouth to respond.
I hear the void. I hear it calling. I hear it laughing. It's coming. It's here. If it finds you here, if it finds you.
Ralik's face twists in fear. He opens his mouth as if to scream, but no sound comes out. White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning cold pumps through you like a curse, and then... The same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
Gods, schmods. They aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them. It seems whatever's inside me is more powerful than any of them anyway. Or at least more cunning.
The gods are dead. Long live the Godwoken. If the Seven should indeed come to nothing, I'll be ready to take their place.
I've got my weapon. I've got my wits. And And now, I've got a new enemy. If the Void wants me, well, I say let it come. I'm ready. I've been sailing for a long time, but I don't know if I've ever seen so much drama. Not in all my years. Ha! Hooking up with your crew's been nothing if not eventful, my boy. I don't know. I've never been one for worshipping. I always figured if Duna really existed, he'd show himself. I mean, am I really supposed to ask some invisible dwarf in the sky to grant world peace? Or give me a pony? Yeah, sounded like a waste of time to me. But, then he showed himself. He said he could help me free our people if I helped him. And I left with more questions than when I started.
It was all a bit ominous, wasn't it? With the Divine dead and Divinity itself dying. It seems we have no choice but to venture forth and, for lack of a better phrase, save the world. Bit of a bother, if you ask me. I had other plans entirely for the weekend.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. Brace yourself. This might hurt. A lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
I have a thought.
Malady explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Ah, better. Let's not do that again anytime soon. Very good. I'll feel far less put upon if you tell me you learned something useful on our little field trip. Condition? What do you mean? I see. So, the gods were bound and cursed by the void, and the thing inside you, the very powerful thing inside you, told you you need to become the next divine. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did it mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Well, luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these. You need to go see the Meister. As have I, but not in the ways a true God-woken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must... You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm. And you ought to be able to extract the source they leave behind, too. All this just by your little old onesie. No devices, no gimmicks. When you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities of source so great that Lucian himself would blush. I quite look forward to seeing it. She's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. A home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly fun? Shopping. One more word, Losa. I'm concerned about you. Other Godwoken meet with one of the 7. You've been meeting up with an apparition from your own mind. That isn't good. Good. There's a fellow I'd like you to seek out. He might be able to help you. Last I heard, he's on business outside the Blood Moon Island to the north of Driftwood. He's a demonologist, Jehan by name. Oh, darling, this is a demon. This is a Demon. Let's hope Jehan can help. Good luck, Losa. You'll certainly need it. If I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me, but I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
What if it's too late, What if the Knights of Dre are too far ahead in their plans?
At least here, our shield's ignorance can be forgiven, Quercus. The Knights of Dre do not go out of their way to boast about their existence. You know their order, my friend. Mystic Squirrel Knights, sworn to the Great Acorn, trying to bring about its return.
The squirrel absent-mindedly runs a paw over Quercus's spine. The air fills with the sound of soft, dusty purring.
They plan to inherit the everlasting forest once the acorn drops, and the world is rid of all giants. They believe that only the arboreal will, and should, survive. I don't know. I am trying, of course. But how does one battle a power like the Great Acorn? The Knights of Dre are a dangerous, dangerous order. Lunatics, a single-minded devotion to bringing about the end of the world. Together, Quercus, we can develop some magic to save us from the Great Acorn, if our shield can keep us alive. Yes, it has done an admirable job so far. It certainly lasted longer than I thought it would. But does it understand that we could be wiped out at any moment? Does it understand the risk? Trust. Do you remember trust, Quercus? I'm not sure I do. Well, yes, of course I trust you, Quercus. You're different. But perhaps we should show a little faith in our shield, too.
The squirrel reaches out and touches your ankle, sending a hot flush rippling through your body. Your mind's eye sees new potential spells swirling before it.
Now, listen carefully, shield. The
plan is thus. Do not die. If the shield can hold up its end of the bargain, we might just have a chance to complete our research. We might make it yet, Quercus.
He sighs, rather dramatically.
Oh, perhaps that's because I don't quite enjoy broaching the subject. If I must, the long and short of it is that I was banished because I was found in bed with a demon. Do you really think I'd be so incredulously stupid as to deal with them? No, I merely summoned them for my amusement. You clearly have a hard time understanding all this, so let me paint you a picture. I am a prince of the House of War. There are others with that title, but none of them are the Red Prince, the jewel in the crown of the Empire. I lived in the Forbidden City, a vast complex of palaces that houses the royal family and its servants. No others are allowed to enter it. As for myself, I was never allowed out. That is the price I paid for my genius. I was too valuable to be exposed to the dangers of the outside world. All the wars I won, and I won them all, of course, I won from the comfort of sofas. Bring me information, and I will deduct, then instruct. From amid the ultimate opulence of my quarters, I expanded and very much ruled the Empire. I had it all, and frankly, I got bored. Exactly. I did not suffer the boredom of some spoiled brat. Mine was the absolute absence of challenge, the longing not simply to watch the horizon, but to journey towards it. If I could not experience the joys of the world beyond, I had to bring the world to me. Miraculous what a sorcerer can do with a little arcane lore. I summoned demons, the most dangerous game in the world. But they knew they met their match in me, and so we conversed. We drank wine, we played chess. Converse with demons, and you learn of the shadows behind creation. Drink wine with them, and you have visions of worlds beyond worlds. Play chess, and you know that one wrong move is certain death. My mind rejoiced. Now for the body, I reasoned, so with a certain succubus I spent nights that would surpass your understanding. So you do comprehend. I spent a whole year in the company of demons, every night atop the white library tower of my palace. It was my great study of existence. It was my supreme joy, even if it led to my downfall. What happened next was simply unforeseen. One moonless night, the succubus that was my lover turned to me, fangs exposed. But I could tell from the glint in her eyes she wasn't bent on our usual fang play. There was no light in that glint. It was the darkness of the void, the wet darkness of spilt blood. And in short, I was afraid. I tried to move away, but it was too late. She was upon me. She had done it. She had outmaneuvered the Red Prince. Finally, I was vanquished. She went for my neck, quick as a charging cobra, but then suddenly it's as if time ground to a halt. Something deep inside me welled up, a power I never knew I had. She simply froze under my stare. Then she screamed. A scream so abhorrent its ripples caused birds to fall dead from the sky. People covered their ears in vain as they went insane. The Imperial Guard forced itself into my chambers and found me with the succubus still on top of me. I believe the phrase is caught red-handed. At first, I admit it was all rather tiring. I was, after all, marched out of my own empire, and I've been hounded by the odd assassin ever since. After that came the indignity of the collar and incarceration. But ever since we decided to be so bold as to bid our farewell to Fort Joy by any means, it's all been rather fun. Oh, I could complain about the food and the lodgings and the sheer barbarity of the common folk. But in truth, all of that fits within the larger frame that is adventure. Adventure is precisely what my life was missing. Yes. As long as that road eventually leads all the way back to my throne, that is.
Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right. I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand. Only as often as I need his guidance, Godwoken. When I invoke Lucian's words, I invoke his deeds too. He stood for the defenseless when the Black Ring rose up. For all of us. For my mother, my father.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer. He composes himself, clears his throat, and waits for your next question.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of. Malady said this Meister lady's the key, so we follow her lead.
Beast pauses for a moment to consider whether he's forgotten anything important.
I'd also appreciate it if we dealt with this Lohar fella. He's the key to unlocking this mess Justinia's made. So, there's some things you ought to know about me. I'm sort of... kinda royalty. I mean, I never wore a crown. Not with diamonds in it, anyway. I once stuck a wreath on my head and... Oh, sorry. I need to stop with that whole tangent thing. Anyway, let's just get it out there. I'm a bastard. The literal kind. And the other kind. The royals weren't all great with me, and I weren't too great with them. To make an overlong story over short, I started the rebellion and got caught and exiled to an island prison. Like Fort Joy, but 10 times worse. I would have died there too, if one of Justinia's ships hadn't sailed so close. So, I kinda took it, and off I went. Cool, right? And then I came upon the Victory. Nice ship. The royal sailors walked the plank as well as you could hope for. And that's where I found the notes. Right there in the open. Next to the manifest. I'm no pirate. I just play the part. I prefer revolutionary. Yeah, it's got a nice ring to it. Now let's see how quick I can tell you the rest. Queen Justinia's ordered some dwarf named Lohar to ambush a ship called the Peacemaker and take its cargo. Whatever's on it, she's using it against the rebels. She calls it Operation Downfall. Pretty ominous, eh? So, yeah, hoping to find this Lohar fellow and stop the Operation Downfall thing. And there you have it. Tangent-free. Mostly. Well, not mostly. A little. Okay, not at all.
A scruffy kid bounds up and stands before you, hands on hips. He stares at your face, doubt screwing up his features.
You Ben Mez? Righto, got a message for you. Chap called Baron Laveri wants to see you. Black Bull Tavern, first floor.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, whistling an off-key tune.
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voidwoken's gross gullet piece by piece.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence and does a double-take. He squints and peers at you closely before shaking his head.
Cool, Aldous. He's a spitting image of that sorcerer fellow, ain't he?
Thought you were someone else for a second there, lad. Someone with no business in Driftwood. But enough of all that. What word do you bring?
His face goes pale and his eyes open wide. The Magister that greeted you remains stiff, as if enduring a harsh wind.
The Voidwoken come.
Hush, Fader. You may pass, traveller. Dare say you'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White. Be quick, mind. He's set to sail any moment.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge, but offers no other instructions.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Keeping it together, Bree.
My bird, what a scout! Seems to me you could use a touch of magic.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yep.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points right at you. From her other hand dangles handcuffs.
Ifan Ben Mesd is our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake. Who could forget?
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Best night's business the healer had in months.
Smells worse over here than a dozen
Now, come on.
eggs.
Back into a cage where you belong. What? What?
The Magister is extremely flustered. She blushes bright red, red as a Magister's robe.
I want nothing of the sort. You hear? Nothing like that. No. Get away. Get out of here. Get!
Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar. Hey, don't come visit me, son. You will.
Until later, then.
Yes,
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Hey, don't come visit me, ton. Do well.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Junk? What?
for nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
Rapid friction along the large hub of your hand.
Protect against voidwoken.
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But voidwoken? God knows what'd stop those beasts.
Cold steel it is.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Subordination!
What kind of rat will sell such filth?
Mind that I don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Bishop Alexander!
I'm all right, as long as I don't lose that too much.
So floor.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Signs from the gods.
If they got nothing to hide, they got nothing to be scared of.
Hey, up! If it ain't the beast, man! Can't believe you found driftwood. How do you smell the ale over all that rotten fish? Get it?
The unfamiliar dwarf scratches his head nervously, then chuckles again. He doesn't seem sure what to say next.
Hey, shh, keep it low. I don't need magisters crawling up my backside after I just emptied it out.
I'll be quiet as a mouse. You bet. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Now go on down. Effie's Emporium's your bag for sure. You want an engraved invitation every time? You know the way in.
Look at that. A fresh face. And a pretty little kisser.
Not no more, she ain't.
Come on. You're one of us. I brought you up from girl to woman, Marla. Like you was my own. This.
He lifts his right arm, showing a white bandage beneath his ribs. A wet red spot shows through.
This ain't the thanks I expected. Who sent you?
The formidable dwarf slams his fist on the side table. You hear a loud crack.
Enough! Do you know they killed Anhar? Do ya? Start talking sense or I'll take that tongue right out of your mouth and fry it for supper. Bart, Cade, get her to talk or bleed her out. She ain't one of mine anymore.
His sneer travels from the restrained dwarf to you.
And you. You better have a damn good reason for coming here.
What's got into you?
Beast bristles the moment he sees his fellow dwarf and slams his right fist into his left palm, growling all the while. Beast thrusts his weapon at his fellow dwarf, who looks first to you, then to Beast. He's surprisingly unfazed by the obvious threat.
You're a brave lad waltzing in here now. I know who you are, you know. The Beast of the Sea. What brings you to this good-for-nothing town?
Operation Downfall, you numbskull, and you'll tell me what you know, or I'll turn your guts inside out and stuff them down your throat.
Disgusting. Well, before you go blood-crazed, you should know the Queen's no friend of mine. Not no more.
He hawks a wad of spit on the floor, then motions to the room around him.
I'm a businessman. I can't say I always keep things on the up and up, but I don't think a rogue pirate's got a lot of room to judge a man for his various trade concerns. And what Justinia's cooking up ain't so good for my bottom line. I don't want to help Justinia. I want to stop her.
Beast considers Lohar's words for a moment, then sheaths his weapon and motions to Lohar to keep talking.
I thought you'd see things my way. Come, make yourself comfortable. We'll have a chat when you're ready. Brave lad, waltzing in here now. I hope for your sake you've got good news for me. If you don't already know the answer to that, I reckon you don't have much to tell me.
He winces loudly and holds a hand to the bandage on his side. The large red spot in its center has grown larger and wetter.
No more than what's fair. No less either. So, how'd you make it out of Fort Joy? I've got to say I'm impressed. I love a good story. Here's one I heard lately. A group of strangers landed on the beaches outside town. Meister Seaver's people. You one of her little seekers? Chasing down Godwoken and begging them to save us all? So? What do you want? Reckon I do. Knowing Seaver, she sent you looking for sorcerers, I bet. And it just so happens I can help you. Depending on what you can do for me.
He gestures towards the bandage across his side.
Had a bit of family trouble lately. My girl Marla got it in her head to come after me with a short blade. That ain't like Marla. Ain't like her to pull the silent treatment either. Something's going on. And wouldn't you know it, that blade she used wasn't any normal bit of steel. Belonged to another of my people. Guy's name is Mordus. Bit of a loner, but smart as hell. I sent a few guys to go check on him, see if he knew what had got into Marla, but no one can find him. I'd like a word with the guy. Glad you see it that way. No one's seen him in a good few. I've got some people checking out his house near the tavern now, though. Tell them I sent you, and they'll let you know what they've found. Truth is, they might be glad to see you. Reckon a sorcerer will have better luck finding one of their own. Good. One more thing. Like I said, Mordus is a sorcerer. Maybe even one of the ones Seaver's after. If there's something you want to find out from him, you might want to ask before I have my word with him. Here, you can take this off my hands. More suited to your kind, really. Good luck.
Of course she'll be so kind. Speak freely, kinsman.
Directions, milady. I was bid to send you to none other than Bramos the Wanderer. He was waiting for you here, my prince. But...
He looks around the hazy room with hasted eyes.
The House of Shadows stirs. The Honorable Bramos sensed them closing in. He had no choice but to flee from Driftwood. A little ways east he went, in search of safety, to an encampment of paladins. You will find him there, Majesty. And with that, I have told my tale.
Indeed I am. We will follow your directions. You have my thanks, kinsman.
Prince of Princes, I am humbled and grateful.
He bows deeply before the Red Prince, as reverently as one would before a god.
An ominous phrase. It's as if I can feel the onset of night. Quite. But you must realize that until a short while ago, the very existence of the House of Shadows was a mystery to us. If this thing of darkness steps into the light, it must be desperate. And desperate means dangerous. You still stand by me, then, despite us being targeted by such a formidable foe? That is quite admirable, I must say. Onward, then. Let them strike when they may. We shall be ready for them.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of. I always figured every dwarf is pure of heart when they pop out of their mummas, but we ain't born cruel. We're made cruel. That means we can be made uncruel. Not sure Lohar will ever be an upstanding member of his community, but he knows where to draw the lines. Malady said this Meister lady's the key, so we follow her lead.
Beast pauses for a moment to consider whether he's forgotten anything important.
Let's make the time to check out that House of Mordas's too. Ain't solving my own mystery until we solve Lohar's.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
What on earth is that noise? Here now. Have you a reason for barging into my room, sir? When one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see.
willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard, then you're an idiot.
He squints at you and laughs. Looking closer, you see the man is wearing a very obvious fake beard. Behind the atrocious fox hair, you recognize the mischievous twinkling eyes of a lone wolf, Callow.
Iffin, forgive my style. I look a right pickled pepper pot, don't I? Why do you think? Why do we ever do any of the ridiculous stuff we do? It's for a contract. Oh, nice job on Alexander, by the way. That'll net you a pretty penny, I'd wager. Bet you didn't need to wear a fake beard for it, though. This one itches like a devil. So what next? Grapevine says you know the whereabouts of more Godwoken. Guess you'll be taking them on over Roost's Way, eh? Camped out at an abandoned sawmill not too far from here.
Baron hunkers down and sketches a rough map from your present location on the floor using an apple, some playing cards, and a fistful of threads pulled up from the carpet.
Suppose you'd best get moving, huh? And I'd best get back to living the no-thrills barred life of this chump. Ah, you know how it is. Pretend you own the place and a surprisingly large number of people just go along with it. But I won't lie, the beard does go down well with the ladies.
Baron laughs and swats you away.
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
This place has seen better days.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, time for a bath. But instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. Quite. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen Godwoken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, Godwoken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Perhaps you have noticed the safe in the floor. You will find it just beside the wall bed. Kindly enter the combination as I call it out. I believe you are capable of that. Excellent. Follow me.
Weird contraptions. This place is an
Ancient
arcanist's
runes.
dream.
Weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
Feel free to look about while I catch my breath. Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
Another giant speaks, Quercus. No, never! I will pay it no...
Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Source in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, as the world fades away, you lose all... Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Ivan, my wolf! Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell, and see.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Rannoch in all his spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your God-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Rannick nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. Immortality is only permanent, my little cub, until one day it simply ceases to be. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. Don't taunt me, Ben Mesd. My strength is your strength. My loss is your loss. You must realize, Ifan, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs. It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism and a dreadful mistake. A mistake we must rectify. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom. This world's liberator. You will be one, or you will be none. The other gods must bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own god Woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Ifan. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. And now only divinity can save what remains. You no longer trust in the Order, Ifan, but you must trust in me. If you choose life, you choose the Well of Ascension. I will lead you there when you're ready, when you've become a true master of the Source and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-Woken can, and wield its most powerful spell.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You are already formidable, Ifan. But you underestimate just how much more formidable you could be. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first, you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek Masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Best of luck, Ben Mesd.
A man's spirit stands before you. Who has taken my sweet am I cursed?
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and...
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of sauce. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my sauce. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling the legs from spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Well, mind your bloody step in future. I've an investigation to carry out, and I don't need any more distractions. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my Magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Hardly. By all accounts, he seemed like just another money-grubbing nobody. He must have caught my Magisters unawares. It's the only explanation. No matter, he'll face justice either way. If you catch sight of that dog, tell me or my men at once. Understand? There might even be a reward in it for you. Well, do you know anything? I can't believe they'd have any involvement in this. They'd be fools to act against us. Stop wasting my time, then.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 2 dozen noblemen for insubordination!
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get lost. Got a pain in the neck. Got a bad pain in the neck.
It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone.
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks, woman. I think I'll wander off now. Here, before I go, what can I do to show my gratitude? Master did. Huh? Wait a minute. Master hurted me? Excuse me a minute. I'm gonna go now, but first I have a thing I need to do.
He turns to his master.
You bad man, you!
God damn it! How was my livelihood? Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. No. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes. You would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to change your mind, could I?
He gives you a cool look, then rummages in his pocket. He hands you the contents.
That's your lot. Go on, then. Get lost, you freeloader. I'm working here.
Don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
My ring. Where's...
The spirit pivots her wrist, staring at the fingerless hand, utterly, morbidly entranced.
I should have been more careful. She hacked at my sword hand first. I couldn't defend myself.
The spirit stares, absorbing your question. Finally, she points her fingerless hand towards the kitchen. The spirit looks at you with the smallest flicker of realization.
I was still alive when she started cutting pieces off me. She wanted me to feel it. All of it.
The spirit ponders your question and seems to shiver.
Oh, in many places. I feel my body in 100 moving graves, warm and wet.
The spirit inclines her head towards the kitchen.
If you got nothing to hide.
What's this? I found something. Spring. It bears the Magister seal, and there's blood on it.
Something shakes the Magister's ghost from her stupor. Her gaze falls on the ring and brightens.
My ring!
Your words take a long moment to sink in, like they're being translated for the Netherworld.
Return it! Home to my brethren!
The spirit smiles at you. If it weren't for the circumstances, it'd be almost heartwarming.
What? Well? What are you waiting for? Tell me! What? The bloody cook? It can't be! Whoa, why did Higba have that contraband then? Then he's still guilty of something. I'm not calling off the manhunt until I have that fiend one way or another. As for this cook, do you have any proof?
The Magister snatches the ring from your palm and stares at it.
This is a conduct award. I presented it to Magister Harrick myself. She was the second one to be taken. The cook's been reported dead. I thought she was another victim, but if she had this, she must have been the culprit. There's no other explanation.
He shudders in disgust.
And to think she was so near to us, to me, all this time. It seems I owe you my thanks. And a reward.
He holds out a pouch of gold. You try to take it, but he doesn't yet relinquish his grasp. With his free hand, he wags a finger in your face.
Keep this ugliness to yourself. I wouldn't want it thought that we Magisters can't solve our own problems without throwing gold about.
He lets go of the pouch and turns away.
Wait until headquarters hears of my success, and perhaps I'll be promoted. Nelson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Right away.
Wait until headquarters hears of my success, and perhaps I'll be promoted. Bellwether, I need those reports, damn it!
Right away.
Oh, great, a citizen. Can't you see I'm on a break here? What? Oh, no. Poor de Moray. Go tell Magister Raymond or Magister Julian immediately. They'll raise the alert. Go. Now. I'm on a break now, Yvette. You better not fall asleep.
I'm watching you, stranger. That's Magister business. Keep your nose out of it. Of course, sir. Right away.
Her Munificence Dallis the Hammer, Scourge of the Voidwoken and Saviour of the Sorcerers, upon the advice of her most sage council, in her capacity as the titular head of our beloved Lucian's Divine Order, hereby layeth bounty upon the fell sorcerer murderers of Alexander, Bishop Divine. She, or he, or it, who slayeth said sorcerers, or other sorcerers, with malice or without, may count upon the hammer's most benign and just benevolence. The deaths of the evil ones shall be rewarded in this life and the next. Hail to the hammer, 7 times blessed.
Right away.
This must be the place Lohar mentioned. It looks unassuming enough.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a... She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want?
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, human. Well, glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon. Who knows? Anything that gives away what Mordus has been up to. Probably got all sorts of tricks for covering his tracks, but the goons downstairs should sniff out something. Get to it then. But tell the lunkheads that Glenna sent you before they bash your brains in.
Down the hatch then.
I've spotted something.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh,
There we go.
you got
Finally.
rotten
Door's
knocking
open.
round that noggin.
By Doona's dagger. You here to free us or kill us?
The male dwarf expels 2 lungfuls of air and glances happily at his companion.
We've only been fretting here for a few hours, but it's felt like days. That snot-nosed priest's as slippery as a snake in an oil drum.
Ain't found nothing that lets on what Mordus is up to. Only thing we managed were to close that door and get us stuck. And if there's another door out there, never could find it.
Lohar ain't gonna be pleased.
Ain't no telling where that priest has gone to. Started acting all funny not so long ago, then flew the coop. Well, at first, he was just buddying around with Lohar and the rest, you know. But then he'd start looking all sickly and run off for a day or two. Then some stranger tried taking old Lohar down, but got himself caught and tied up. Ain't no coincidence Mordus went hanging around then.
She taps a finger against her forehead.
A woman knows things. Nothing's getting past me. Best we head off then. We've got business to attend to.
Well, this won't do. If I can get stuck, then I can get unstuck.
Lohar will want to know of this.
The shrine depicts you run your hands along the exterior until your fingers graze the button noted in the schematic. There's no mistaking the sound.
Better get out there before Mordus makes it all the way past Arx. I asked you for a man, not a note.
He takes the letter from your hands and reads it quickly, face hardening with anger as he reaches the end.
Bloody goddamn spit-sucking weasel! This is bad. Not just for me and mine. Not just for you and yours. This is bad. For everyone. Hell if I know, but it don't sound good. Seems as though Mordus wasn't mine after all. Trouble is, I don't know whose he is. Of course. That's why I haven't heard from the cave. Sabotage. Listen up, I need your help. We all do. Mordus has his hands on something dangerous. Something I was trying to protect us from. Not just my folks. The whole damn realm. Look, me and mine, we move classified cargo. Take it right off Magister ships and put it into the hands of those that will use it rightly. Trouble is, we came across something no one ought to have. Not the Magisters, not my folks, not the gods themselves. I ordered it to be destroyed. I guess Mordus, whoever he's working for, wants it for themselves. That can't happen. The less you know, the better. Trust me. Stop Mordus and I'll take care of the rest. My people had an operation up in the caves outside town. Good access to red ships and plenty of privacy too. Haven't heard from them in a couple of days now. I thought maybe we'd lost the messengers to Voidwoken in the hills, but now I think it's worse than I thought. I bet my lucky left foot Mordus is in the cave. You gotta get to him before he gets his hands on that cargo. Pray to whoever you pray to that it ain't too late. Finally, someone with a little sense around here. Give me your map. I'll show you where we were operating, where I think Mordus will be. I don't want to know what'll happen if he gets what he's after.
There you are, little egg.
They were stolen! The babies! The eggs! Something took them! Ah! Transform! Not a chicky baby anymore! All gone! All gone for good!
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her warm underbelly and settling down upon it contentedly.
Shh, little Beeper baby, Mama's here, warm and here with you again.
She cocks a black eye up at you and winks.
Thank you. I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. It's yours. It's yours. Unless some other scratchily poker found it first, of course.
Doubled over in agony, the shivering Magister spirit mumbles to himself, tightly clutching 3 golden stalks in one fist. Noting the attention, he straightens, revealing insignia spelling Kinnet, and a jagged wound spilling his innards upon the ground. You become Kinnet, his memories flooding over you and replacing your own. Warmth, comfort. You are Kinnet, playing cards with your mates in a cozy barracks. You stagger to tipsy attention as a white-clad Magister commands that one of your troop seek a lost caravan. It's a one-man job, a job no man wants. Your sly-eyed troop leader holds out straws to you and the others. Who will investigate? You feel the short straw and hear them shout, "Kinnet!" You know what that means. A lonely traipse in the cold dark. You dawdle and grumble all the way, sobering as you find the overturned caravan. Massacre. Your lantern reveals ravaged corpses in every direction. Inhaling sharply, you smell a thick black stench you remember secondhand from the few void-woken corpses your troops have found. As you approach a dark thicket, the stench grows stronger. In a flash of void and blood, a claw rakes savage stripes across your guts. As Kinnet dies, all goes black. Staggering back from Kinnet's deathly grasp, only your own blood now pumps through your heart. With your living eyes, you see him trembling in front of you, desperately holding out 3 straws. As you pluck the short straw from his hands, Kinnet weeps with relief. His wound disappears in turn, and he's restored to the model image of a strapping young soldier. He looks around, then looks at you, and then he smiles. Smiling broadly, Kinnet fades away.
The spirit keeps glancing. What a horrific vision.
The spirits of a Magister and a dwarf are locked in ethereal combat. Their vicious blows make no impact, yet they struggle on. Mid-snarl, the dwarf spies your presence and staggers back to address you.
Sorcerer! You must hate the Reds as much as I do, eh? Rightly so. Reds had sorcerers locked up tight in that caravan. And you know where they were sending them. You look like you've been there yourself.
The Magister lunges for the dwarf, his exasperation clear.
Anna, you saw it with your own eyes. You know Sorcerer's Law, Voidwoken, and you know we'd all still be alive if you hadn't attacked our caravan.
Not to flip your flops or nothing, but 'tis more that my boss Lohar is against Magisters than for sorcerers, if you know what I mean.
The Magister snorts in disdain.
Lohar, I should have known. Sorcerer, if you want to stay alive around these parts, you'll stay far, far away from that walking vermin. Though, on the other hand, maybe you should go stand near him. Maybe the Voidwoken could take him out where we failed. Ha!
The dwarf eyes you steadily and silently, his mouth a straight line, and his eyes like marbles of steel. The Magister shrugs.
Well, if I knew that, we'd have taken him out long ago. All I can say is, he's somewhere in Driftwood, and everything he touches turns into annihilation. Before it all, Voidwoken stole the sorcerers along the cliffs, headed for Seven knows where.
There's only one way. Yes, there's only one thing to do. Papa! Yes, yes, yes! He wanders, he roosts, but he is special. He can help people, can keep him safe. What? No! Peeper's still just a baby, and Papa can help.
I bet you're the musical sort. You've thought about taking up the lute. I got a few ready to go, all freshly strung. Well, that's one kind of melody. I'll give you that. Everyone's got tune in them. You just gotta look. My brother Laszlo couldn't carry a tune in a bucket when he were a wee thing. Now, he's got the voice of an angel. Yeah, I use rosewood mostly. It gives lutes and whatnot a sweet tone. Play 'em too, of course. Me and Laszlo were in a band, but we preferred duets. Just us. Spreading song. Magisters came, stole them away. I keep going though, hoping to get to Ark sooner than later. Lucian's Day. Useful? Ah, you mean deadly. There's no shortage of suffering, that's for sure. Maybe I could do me part to help your efforts. Come back later then. I need a bit of time to carve something useful.
There's paladins up ahead. Men of my vintage. I wonder if I served with any of them back in the war.
Traveller, if you...
Where, as I live and scarcely breathe, if it isn't Ifan Ben Mezd?
I'll hold my tears when weeping come. I'll hold my tears when weeping come. Who shall avenge you, darling one? Who shall avenge you, darling one?
Thought you'd die. We really gave those Black Ring what for, eh? Wiped them all out in the blink of an eye. Damn proud to have... That's the way of the world. No point crying over it. We're soldiers, damn it. So long as our own are fed and clothed and safe from the horrors of the void, that's all we can do. Speaking of fed and clothed, you're looking a little ragged yourself. I've some work I could send your way, if you're interested.
He taps a finger on the map on the table.
Here, in the Black Pits, are White Magisters. Their operation is shrouded in mystery, and this pricks our ears. We are gravely concerned. We believe the White Magisters may have strayed into the darkness. We suspect that Dallas herself and her master Vriedemann are the inspiration for these dark endeavors. Look under the white veil of secrecy and report back. How much do you want? I have fewer paladins to pay, so I have ready gold. But there are... You think very highly of yourself indeed. We have a deal.
He offers you an item. A whistle-like device sits nestled in your hand.
When you're ready, send a war owl. Be careful out there. It's a dangerous place these days. And I'd like to think I'll hear from you again. And, adventurer...
He looks you in the eye.
I know it goes without saying, Ben Mezd, but don't get caught.
They beat all those Voidwoken. I'm impressed.
The rooster looks his son over, first with one beady eye, then the other.
He has my eyes! But I see nothing but the void lurking behind those pretty peepers. Kill him now, or he will kill us all later. Good choice. Oh, gosh! And I'll give you a little something for your trouble after. What is it? That's right, Coco! Doubt will serve you ill before the magic cockerel. None to doctor! Kill the wizard! Why are you still call? Thinking about that abomination? Aren't you distracted by the trinkets I gave you in return? That's all you adventurers care about, no? Get your flapping out of my beak. I didn't.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.